The Vancouver Whitecaps had the Voyageurs Cup within their grasp tonight. It was going to be their second straight title. And then it was Toronto FC scoring in the dying seconds here at BC Place. Heartbreak for the Caps and their fans as TFC wins the Voyageurs Cup and earns Canada's berth in the 2017-2018 CONCACAF Champions League. For the Caps, their second straight Voyageurs Cup title, oh so close, but instead they're going to be left to rue a couple of mistakes, which we'll get to. The first talking point, of course, basically it's the last play of the game. A lump ball forward by Toronto, desperation, and it falls to Will Johnson because David Osted and Kendall Waston collided in the Caps goal. We've seen that before this season a couple of times. Whose fault was it? That's going to be dissected, debated for a little while. Fans seem pretty split on it right now. I agree with Mark Rogers, who said on Twitter, and I've talked to Paul Dolan as well, if Osted has the shout there, if he calls for it, that is his ball, and that's on Kendall Waston. If he didn't communicate properly, that's on Osted. David Osted put his hand up after the game and said it was his fault, but he always does that. He's pretty quick to cover for his teammates. However it shakes down, it was just a calamitous play by the Caps, and Johnson pounces on it. Who else? Will Johnson, who tormented the Caps here once when he was with Portland, and now with TFC. The other thing that's going to be debated, of course, is the Caps' lack of finish up front. They got the 2 goals tonight. That should have been enough, but you could feel they needed that third. They had so many chances as the game opened up. The Caps on the counter, they had goals through Nicholas Mosqueda and Tim Parker, who scored in his second straight Canadian final, but they couldn't find that third. Alphonso Davies had a chance off the bench. Blas Perez had a chance off the bench, off the post. Both of those, by the way, good saves from Alex Bono, who was filling in for the injured Clint Irwin in Toronto's goal. And Bono deserves credit. He struggled early. He couldn't kick the ball a damn tonight, but he came up big late when it counted. Eric Hurtado had a look. Christian Bolaños had a good look. So a lot of guys collectively sharing in the fact they didn't get the job done tonight, but they were certainly deserving of their lead at that point. They just couldn't finish it off. But it really is that last kick of the game that's going to get the most chatter, and rightly so. The other thing that'll get talked about is the stoppage time. 4 minutes added. They went past that, maybe 94 and a half, maybe 94-20 when the goal came. Whatever it is, Drew Fisher, the referee, is going to take some heat. The referee always takes heat, but for me, it's a minor point tonight. Usually you do see the home team get the Fergie time, not the visiting team, so it was a little bit surprising. The fans were basically celebrating in full song, just waiting, anticipating that final whistle. So were the Caps on the bench. Everyone was up and about to run on the field, had the water bottles ready to squirt and everything, and you really thought this one was over, and then it was just silence, stunned silence, and everything turned on its head. So that's why we love this sport, but it'd be a rough night for the Caps tonight. And that's really the other talking point, is the emotional impact of this one. The Caps coming off that big win in Philadelphia, a comeback win. They talked about it as being a turning point of their season as they try to kind of get out of neutral here. They've been winning and losing all year. But after this one tonight, you got to think it's going to take a little while to get over this loss. They're back at it July 4th, Independence Day game in LA against the Galaxy.